campaign because I don't want the Colorworld to be limited to a black and white format. But we are multi-dimensional people. We want to see, we want to touch, we want to hold it in our hand. I think that's why we always want to see the books we love put into movie format. We know what's going to happen in the story, but we want to see new depths. And that's exactly how comic books started. There was no color TV, and there were limited special effects. People were limited to the written word. Comic books broadened our horizons and stretched our imaginations, and new ideas began to materialize. In 1933, at the age of only 19, Joe Shuster and Jerry Siegel brought Superman to life, and forever redefined human possibility. And that's when the era of superheroes really began. The Colorworld series is about superpowers, but I wasn't thinking about that when I began to write the story. My dad had recently passed away from cancer, and something that my mom said in an email to me back when he was sick really stuck in my mind. In it, she described the helplessness that she felt during the times that my dad was in pain. She said to us kids, never underestimate the connection that you can feel simply by touching another person. I began to wonder what she described as a connection. What did that mean? How does touch connect us? And what would happen if you couldn't touch other people? And I thought about it so much that I actually ended up having a dream. And that's when Wendy was born. She's 19, and she used to do a lot of this. But her mom died.
And now she takes care of her younger brother. And she does do a lot of this.
And this.
But she needs a whole lot more of this.
Because she has so many of these.
She goes to an allergy study, and something crazy happens.
What is going on?
What? I thought you said this wasn't a rogue story.
But it wasn't.
Okay, well then how did you end up like this?
Okay, I think I know what's going on here. Okay, back when I first started writing Colorworld and I gave the first draft of the first book to my editor Jamie, she said, hey, did you know this is kind of like a rogue story? And I thought, yeah, I guess it kind of is.
Okay, so at some point are we going to get something other than what Rogue ended up with?
Oh yeah, absolutely. I think by the time you get to the third book, you're not even going to be thinking about Rogue.
Ooh, so we get a brand new Rogue origin story, but then it goes something completely different?
Yes.
Ooh, the best of both worlds.
I was simply trying to answer the question I had. It was supposed to be a simple story, but I got sucked into Wendy's world, the Colorworld, and I had so many more questions that I wanted to answer, so I kept writing. And what resulted was a 7-book series. I think this is exactly what happened when Superman was born. They were curious about this idea of people having superhuman abilities. The superhero idea hasn't died since. Ask yourself, why is it that every kid at one time or another wants to be a superhero? Kids kind of have an obsession with superheroes, wouldn't you say? And so I think that this demonstrates something about humanity, that we, in each of us, we have a fundamental and it's universal, that we believe that there's something more in us than what we are now capable of. And I think that the fact that kids love superheroes so much is a testament to that fact. Colorworld is about exploring that question of, if there really is something in us that is capable of more, how would we access it and where does it come from? And really that's the whole premise of the Colorworld series. It's not really about combat this supervillain or that supervillain. That's sort of a side story. The real story is, what is the Colorworld, and is it a real thing? And is this something that we should take to heart, that maybe we do have more in us than we realize?
We are not all one-dimensional beings. We love things in different ways, shapes, and forms. The goal of our Kickstarter project is to bring the Colorworld to you in as many forms as possible. We're in production right now on an audiobook for book 1, but there are 7 books in the Colorworld series, and we'd like to bring every one of them to you in an audio format. The artwork that Mike Richardson has produced for us is astounding, and what we'd really love to do is provide you with hardback, illustrated editions of each of the 7 Colorworld books. Part of our stretch goals are to develop a monthly comic book series and a graphic novel.
Let me tell you why this series is important.
On November the 1st, 2013, in São Paulo, Brazil, Colicel Films sat parents and children down to ask them the same question. What do you think the future holds? The results were nothing short of shocking. Parents believed that the violence, the abuse, and the neglect they saw in the world that they lived, they had lost all hope. Their children, on the other hand, had a completely opposite reaction. They talked about being teachers, doctors, creating and designing fashion. The sky was the limit.
The bottom line is that the adults thought that changing the world was impossible. But we've forgotten something that our kids intrinsically know. Anything is possible. And we believe that the Colorworld will make you believe that again.